Everybody, everybody. Hey, hey. Everybody, let's go. Yes, yeah. Yes, yeah. Give them something. Energy. Everybody say glory, glory, glory to the King. Glory, glory, glory to the. Everybody say glory, glory, glory to the King. Glory, glory, glory
eat one thing before you go. The ways in which Africa has remained at the heart of its diaspora are far-reaching, well beyond food and music. Perhaps the most important way is in the cultural elements that are taught to our children, ensuring the cord that has tethered these diasporan communities to the African continent all these centuries remains unbroken. They are the Pehuamanse folk tales that so many of us in this room grew up hearing and reading, and that have spread all over the world to places too numerous to mention. Just like the popular children's hall and response folk song that I'm sure most of you are familiar with. Cheche Kule, Cheche Kofisa, Kofisa Langa, Kagati Langa, Adere, Cheche Kule, Cheche Kule, Kofisa Langa, Kofisa Langa, Lalati Langa, Adere. Thank you.
That due to the very, very excellent performance so far of John Dramani Mahama, Ghanaians are asking him to seek a third term. I know that. I know that because I read on social media, I listen to conversations, and Ghanaians believe that as a result of the good deeds of His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama, they don't want him to leave the presidency.
They believe a third term is possible.
And they believe that a third term is possible. And they are demanding for a third term. But John Dramani Mahama has not given any indication that he wants to go for a third term. But I have always said that Ghanaians will be the ultimate deciders of the future of this country. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, why do I say that? Please pay attention. Why do I say that? Next doors in the Côte d'Ivoire, the opposition leaders came to me when I was in the ECOWAS Parliament and complained that the president there wanted to go for a third term. And they were calling on us in West Africa to support them, to oppose and prevent the president from going for a third term. So I asked them, the president who is seeking for a third term, is he going to put a ballot box in front of the citizens and ask them to vote for him to go for the third term, or is going to wake up early morning and announce that he is continuing for a third term? And they said there will be an election to determine whether or not he should go for the third term. And I said, go and fight him at that election. Go and fight him at that election. Go and fight him at that election. Mr. Speaker, that is why I say that ultimately, it will be the Constitution, the institutions, and the citizens of Ghana who will determine the future of our country. Mr. Speaker, your guidance and leadership have ensured that our legislative process, though often cumbersome, were conducted within the bounds of parliamentary decorum and democratic responsibility. Why are you afraid of a third term? Why are you afraid? Why are you afraid?
I noted your interest in the rubber every time I ask myself, okay, if we are importing something, is it possible to break everything down? Let's say aboboya, just for example. What are the parts? Is there one thing we can do? Must we get the finished products, or is there something we can contribute? Even if it's just one small item, we can add another and another, and before you know, we are making the whole thing. So these are some of the things that I think about sometimes. So I'm very happy about the tires. You can't import the car and then the tire and everything. What else are we going to import next? Even with the production of sugar, thank you. If you go by the entire value chain, from clearing the land to planting, to harvesting, to carting, to the whole process from the factory to even packaging and distribution, you can't count the number of jobs you create and the number of the types of expertise you'll be honing into that particular factory. So that's very, very important for us. Maybe even if as a matter of I don't know, urgency, for lack of better expression, we are going to use a backward integration of the economy, still we should keep an eye on how we're going to start, because that will give us more benefits. And another area with this sort of thing is to wonder the sources of that semi-finished products. Already talking about more people you need to examine the things we are importing. So what capacity do we have? So the standards board people should be interested in them. We should find ways of supporting them so they can also do their work well. It's not enough that I've seen this on this market and it's not good, it's always easy to blame someone. But I think giving them the support they need, getting them the right training, the right equipment, and the right evaluation systems, I think will also help them. There's no point creating unnecessary pressure on anyone. We are looking at efficiency. So thank you.
Ways in which Africa has remained at the heart of its diaspora are far-reaching, well beyond food and music. Perhaps the most important way is in the cultural elements that are taught to our children. Ensuring the cord that has tethered these diasporan communities to the African continent all these centuries remains unbroken. There are the Kwekua Nancy folk tales that so many of us in this room grew up hearing and reading, and that have spread all over the world to places too numerous to mention. Just like the popular children's call and response folk song that I'm sure most of you are familiar with. Cheche Kule, Cheche Kofisa, Kofisa Langa, Kakati Langa, Kum Adede, Kum Adede. I didn't hear you go. Cheche Kule, Cheche Kule, Kofisa Langa, Kofisa Langa, Lalati Langa, Kum Adede. Thank you.
Ajumbedu antoso mienu ewura eni de kwanso ade bi wo ho mente ase a nde meka ade bi wo ho mente ase a meka efa national cathedral no ho efa national cathedral no ho yewura yehu se bibi ne nam social media so ye nokre enye nokre te send attorney general me am boss adwumam be ka bibi se boni bia ni sa whole year be kokko buye no sika no ye pepepe yewura no nko ansro wada roma Ghana for ade abede to ma ba ko pa ye corruption na yehu se sa national cathedral no sika be ka se ba se na yewura me de nokre ni be ka se me de mente ase ye mu bi kura na eni se be $56 million Echeja kra yete ya be 96 and 97 na nokure ni sa de we wo aye kan ho asem aye gi dini yewura attorney general de ba be boy say ketesh asihye bi animu a nokure ni kama court na ma frɛ nipa ohwe so no na ya toto na no so ma kire de kodie ntia na Ghana fo nyina hu yewura eno de ma bia convince se bibi nim ma te se bi nim baba hyehyɛ ase me de nim se ne osite na mbom Ghana fo be ka be bibi na se utimika yewura sa amana na betu ye ne de nokre ne yankia ase ya pese bi bemfa ne ko gina mbra ano na o ma kire de kodie ntia se esika dodo no be ye nim se ne
nti we de anka me kan ho asem nso makonta me bibia domba hene apagenti e o se me kan ho asem kakra em se National Cathedral asem o kan no enya de a yebu ye ni egu so National Cathedral board no omo frɛ auditor se ombeye audit ena omode audit report no by and so nana enim se one kasa offer auditors number ye auditor and sheda enye auditor a church nyumamu ye enti ye ka say auditor general enye forensic audit of the National Cathedral enti eno na bema ye humu ye ade e course $97 million yedie tu amra kese yese ga Africa ha nyina amra bia nso te sesa amra no enti sa forensic audit no ene be yi nyoma pie na se yi nyoma pie a eno ne be gina so ne aye investigation no na se asotwe ebi wo ho a e wo se de ma obi a ne de amasa nipa no enti nana yembu ye ni ho so yeguso ehwem na emrepa no se asotwe bi wo ho a obi a echese we this Ghana sika se na me share bo no ye de sa nipa no ebe kwa kogina aban nim na wa kyerɛkyerɛ mu enti we de
Mesi amra adu na adu ama wan Dr. Mahmood Bawumia me come otro ena me ka se mbi na nto obi atim me ye politician ena honorable Kennedy Japan oye politician kugudu minim se delegates bebre wa ha ukunu eye polling station executive ena wo yire enso ye polling station executive mesrao obi ankura na dwen wo politics mu obi ankura na dwen iti honorable Ken kura na dwen okura ni ambition mesu mi kura ma dwen mesu mi ye manyosem na manyosem na obi a eye no obi akọ bebia ne ho be dey mese dey obi akọ bebia ne ho be dey Dr. Boache Kasa okan sembi maintain honorable Kennedy Japan menene wo mba porepore ahofefuo mienu ba mu abaako ena oba abaako enti maintain honorable Kennedy Japan but anya family and friends ena ye wa Kugudu Messi ya dia is Efiena ya balo Kugudu Kugudu Pacho muntie mi o opposition na ya ba na ya be fie no e wo se ye be sua nyansa o ya kotna ba mu ye family and I any ye ne iti amanyo sem a ye wo party level no me aduasafo meti me nya den esan se ye kwa ba mu koye bi ebo aye ya na asa moye na me mamu example bi me study contest to be MP in the year 2007 atena mu adi amanyo semunu mu a wokuo yi mu abesi nne. Ma serving as member of parliament for 12 years. My deputy majority leader. Medi minister for procurement. Medi minister for gender. It will be some say. Men somewhere. And honorable can a Japan so I am dear. Meboa. Menka say ono na ebefa. Na mom ye assume say wafa. Na wakotena Jubilee House. Na mimi CV eda ho. Yaka CV asa wo kopa adwuma. Na mo hwe adwuma amaye. Ene somo amasom oman yi ene mama neku. Na se dru ho. Na obetimi apemanimu aka se oba menene wo mamienu. Ma appoint no as minister for BB. Ejabeto Ghana. Yes. Kukudu. And the Kennedy Japan, Mimi no menena wumi no. Oh yeah. My political career is at stake. My future is at stake. And my future is with Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud.
We make NDC look like they are angels. Do we remember Fonka games? Friends of Nana Kuredo Ajimai Rollins, Fonka. And then the Mahama group. Do we remember what happened? To the extent that Emma, the founder's wife, got angry and she left the party. NDC problem does see you. Yeah, founder Ben Atten wants to be party. And Alan left in 2024, and all of a sudden we are pretending as if MPP at this point. NDC, the founder. Kunedo Ajimai Rollins was not only the founder's wife, she was integral in the foundation of the NDC. She left the party. She formed her own party. And yet NDC have one power. So why are we pretending? Say, you see, in every organization, you need like-minded people to win. And we need 1,000. That's a 10 because of the 2 months. But we are 10. Not 10 in about which we win. So I am not a subscriber to a group where we say that if we have negative energy, no matter what the negative energy must say, it's not true. And it's also not true that when some of your members leave your party and form a party, you won't win elections. It's not true. The NDC, the year they won elections was the year they formed NDP out of it. The Zidane, Francis Esiam, and Co. We know all these things. Maybe the way I'm motivated for 2028, that's what I want all of us in this room to be motivated. Understanding that we are a human organization. We falter, we fail, we struggle, but we still have to rise up and fight. That is our job. We can't stay down forever. If they get the slightest of idea, say we are fighting, they will take advantage of our fights. And they will break us apart. But the party that was formed by our elders now, it survived Rollins, no? It cannot be said, say, when they go to our 10, we allow that party to fail. That cannot happen. I have seen it with my eyes. And I beg all of you, don't let what somebody is saying about another person in the same group demotivate you. No.
Na me there when the casa be brave now kind and titri pa ni jina se o se mo ikuno no ehoban ye call primary see or say or no or when the candidate or support me chairman appear could be and why me candidate and support but no interest say ye didi and what them enti or you see where we say we shouldn't denigrate others in our quest to promote our candidate. Which I think is a very, very, very profound statement.
I will say it clear. I have suffered so much because I have made it clear that I will never
Honorable members of this august House, these enhanced and consequential humanitarian gestures were deliberate expressions of Ghana's diplomatic identity and values. In a global environment marked by increasing humanitarian needs and diminishing international attention, Ghana's actions carry significant moral and diplomatic weight. They signal Ghana's refusal to be indifferent to suffering and its determination to remain a responsible and compassionate actor on the international stage. Such actions also serve to strengthen our bilateral relations, reinforce mutual trust, and enhance Ghana's standing within multilateral fora. By aligning humanitarian assistance with diplomatic engagement, Ghana demonstrates its foreign policy is both principled and pragmatic. It's rooted in values of empathy, solidarity, brotherhood, and compassion, while being attentive to global realities. Right Honourable Speaker, as humanitarian crises continue to challenge the international community, Ghana remains resolute in its commitment to act where it can to make a meaningful difference. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs will continue to work towards strengthening Ghana's capacity for timely humanitarian response, deepening partnerships with international and regional actors, and ensuring that solidarity remains a defining feature of our foreign policy. Right Honourable Speaker, honourable members, Ghana's humanitarian assistance since 7 January 2025 reflects who we are as a nation: principled, humane, caring, and responsible. In extending support to Palestine, to Cuba, to Jamaica, and to Sudan, Ghana has reaffirmed its belief that solidarity is not optional and that empathy is an essential instrument of diplomacy. Right Honourable Speaker, Ghana's foreign policy will be defined by not how much we can take from others, but by how much we can share with others. I express my gratitude for the continued support of Parliament in advancing a foreign policy that upholds Ghana's values and responsibilities in the Committee of Nations.
My biggest concern is how stable is our country, how peaceful are we, how safe is the public. And I'm happy to say that you are to Olive Volta in terms of how peaceful the region is. I mean, rationally, for those who are coming from the south, the assumption is that everywhere in the north is full of conflict. But that is not so. But interestingly, even out of the 5 regions in the north, Upper West is the most peaceful region among the 5 that we have.
After the destruction of the hurricane, Ghana dispatched humanitarian assistance to the friendly people of Jamaica and Cuba, and also to the displaced people of Sudan. This humanitarian assistance included food aid, locally produced Ghanaian rice, blankets, mattresses, plastic buckets, medicines, and other such accoutrements. Ghana has consistently stood for international solidarity, humanitarian assistance, and global responsibility. Our nation understands the pain of natural disasters and the long road to recovery. Today's mission reinforces Ghana's commitment to humanitarian response, disaster recovery and reconstruction, and South-South cooperation, Pan-African and Afro-Caribbean solidarity. I commend the Ghana Armed Forces for their professionalism, for their discipline, and their readiness to serve not only at home, but anywhere in the world duty calls. This mission is not a combat mission, It is a mission of compassion, skill, and service. After we dispatched the first batch of humanitarian assistance, I made a phone call to the Prime Minister of Jamaica, the Honorable Andrew Holness, to express Ghana's solidarity with the people of Jamaica. He thanked me for the assistance we had dispatched, and in our discussion, he said what they need currently is assistance with rebuilding and providing shelter for the people who have been displaced. And so I offered to send a regiment of our engineering corps to help with the assistance, and also send them some tents to provide temporary shelter. We are dispatching those tents by sea so that we can provide temporary shelter. But in the meantime, our troops are going to help with reconstruction, with building, and also providing support for the people of Jamaica.
Government is broke, government is broke. But people are spending billions to go inside the government that is broke. Have you ever seen a minister who resigned because government is broke before? Government has no money. Have you ever seen a governor who said, ladies and gentlemen, when I was elected, I thought the government had money. Now I discover government has no money, I resign. Have you ever seen it? Government has no money, but they are bringing money out at election time. Where is that money coming from? So they are lying. What is happening is that there are two types of wicked people in government. Type 1, they eat current money. Any money they find in government, they will eat it. They are wicked about that one. There is type 2. Type 2, they eat current money and future money. They will say, my term will end next year. When I leave, how will I eat money? Let me borrow money now and borrow money of the future and eat it now. Government is broke, government is broke. But people are spending billions to go inside the government that is broke. Have you ever seen a minister who resigned because government is broke before? Government has no money. Have you ever seen a governor who said, ladies and gentlemen, when I was elected, I thought the government had money. Now I discover government has no money.
Good morning, and welcome to the show. This is Good Morning Ghana on Metro Television. My name is Aldo Moro. Thanks for tuning in. We're grateful, and we cherish you, distinguished viewers. Now, Good Morning Ghana is also live on 94.1 FM. That's on your radio dial. And today is the 22nd of December 2025. And this is the day the Lord has made. Indeed, we're glad in it. And we want to say a big thanks to Almighty Allah for being alive and kicking, and to give us the opportunity to return here and to join the nation's conversation on the big issues that are making the rounds in our dear country, Ghana. I'll go straight ahead and look at what the newspapers are reporting this morning. And the Ghanaian Times is what I will start with today, in not a typical fashion, because Daily Graphic, what's happened today? You didn't deliver your papers on time. But I hope that I get it before I'm done with the newspaper review. But anyway, so Ghanaian Times this morning says that political leadership must pursue national vision. Reverend Wengam. Ashanti Port wins $33.3 million in a Buankra Port arbitration. 636 blue water guards deployed to combat illegal mining, protect environment. 5 killed in Ayen Sudo, Meyinda road crash. Parliament passes appropriation bill. Government to spend 357.1 billion cedis in 2026. The Daily Guide this morning is reporting that Reverend Wengam slams abuse of power. Ashanti NDC organizer declares chairmanship bid. Buankra Inland Port dispute just more to pay Ashanti Port $33.3 million. Farmers bare teeth over raw rubber export ban. Manson Kwanta MP launches scholarship to boost human capital. The Insight newspaper, Russia, Africa, new horizons for old friends. Harvesting prosperity, John Dumelo explores cutting-edge agricultural innovations in Asia. MIF, Gold Fields, executives hold strategic talks on potential investment opportunities. And then you also have Cocoa Board blames suspension of Cocoa Road project on 33 billion debts. South Africa, ICJ, genocide case against Israel to continue despite Gaza ceasefire. That's with today's, and this KOD grabs the LLM distinction in international trade and business law. Parliament approves renaming of CK Tedam and Dombo universities. The Herald, tribunal orders 33.3 million US dollars refund in Buankra Inland Port project dispute. And as Okudjeto's inheritance fraud case pushed to January, claims of political motive could stall Oforiate's extradition. Law professor. Minister tells assemblies to keep Accra clean for visitors. NPA boss Lord Sentio Oil Refinery's contribution to fuel supply stability. The Ghanaian publisher, Buankra Port Dispute, Just More ordered to pay APSL 33.3 million US dollars. Minority will defend democratic values. Apenyo marking. Buffer store case. Yoko apologizes for case delays. Third GJA dinner comes off tonight, and the Cardio Boss pushes for shared resources in heart care. The custodian. Joyce Bauer roasted on social media for denigrating Akufo-Addo. This ALPI group opens new office in Anglonga. And then there's also Ghana's democracy under threat. Minority leader rings alarm bells. I won't comment on Boku chieftaincy matters, Mahama Yariga declares. Yoko begs court for delays over buffer stock case. Daily Post, crypto trading now legal, no arrest, DOG governor. President Mahama First Lady Lordina and Veeb Jane and Nana celebrate Festival of 9 Carols. Lands Minister commissions 636 blue water gas to intensify Galamsey fight. And it comes with a picture of the sector minister, Emmanuel Amako Fibua, who is also the MP for Elembele. The Daily Graphic this morning is also reporting that don't abuse power. Reverend Wangan tells politicians and leaders. This minister urges Blue Water Guards to lead the fight against water pollution. Buankra Inland Port project, Just More to pay Ashanti Port 33.3 million US dollars. Some Jonah charges universities to shift from rote learning. I totally agree with that. And then this one, the New Crusading Guide, says that buffer stock case, Yoko apologizes to court for delays. MIF, Goldfields executives hold strategic talks on potential investment opportunity. And there's ALPI Group opens new office in Anglonga. In Angola. Sorry, I initially said Anglonga. That's my sincere apologies for that. It's actually Angola, marking first entry into Lusophone Africa. And the GJ announces spectacular third dinner night, a night of glittering celebration and unforgettable joy. JC thanks God for Best Farmer. JC thanks God for Best Farmer Award, National Best Farmer in 2026. Ghanaians condemn attack on Wedua Palace by a Jana family. Youth arrest raise rights concerns. The Accra Times this morning is reporting that at the celebration of 2025 Fiok Festival, Bilsa chiefs appealed to Mahama to file or to fix the Chuchuliga Sandema Wiesi Road. And as Parliament adjourns after passing 2026 appropriation bill, as Ayariga congratulates government on 2025 economic turnaround. Afoko exposes Bilsa youth to arts exhibition through an exhibition of contemporary art from his private collection. President Trump gives Ambassador Victor Smith a welcome with a heartfelt remark, "Look at this good-looking man." Ambassador Victor Smith promotes investment opportunities across U.S. USA Ghanaian lawyers visit Ambassador Victor Smith. And then you also have the Daily Statesman. Finance Minister dragged to charge over discriminatory ex-gratia payments. Ofio Market X-Marks edition attracts record crowds. NPP Flagbearer election. Kwabena J. Japan wins massive support with Renewal Hope Unity message. ALPI Group enters Lusophone Africa with Angola office. Yoko apologizes to court for delay in buffer stock assets case. The Inquisitor. The Yoko Care, Dial Xmas for gamers, Cocoa Board defends Cocoa Road suspension. Let's remember the vulnerable during Yuletide. That's Dr. Prempe. There's Myth, Goodfield strategize for investment opportunities. There's local government minister end sanitation drive for Christmas. And then, yeah, so that's it for the banner headlines for today, the front page of the newspapers today. Stay with us. This is Good Morning Ghana on Metro Television. But let's check out what's on metrotvonline.com.
Sometimes the unexpected happens and the hero falls down in his own story. But he needs not stay down for long. Cosmopolitan Health Insurance is your trusted health partner. Whether an individual building a business, with Cosmopolitan Health Insurance, your medical care is our concern. For the best health insurance solutions for corporate institutions, groups and associations, families and individuals, choose Cosmopolitan Health Insurance from our over 700 accredited health service providers nationwide. Call us on 0302 540 668 or 0501 678 547 for all your health insurance solutions. Cosmopolitan Health Insurance, your medical care is our concern.
I'm a brand manager. Of course, I accept only quality and affordable printed souvenirs for my promotional campaigns.
I'm the head of academic affairs of a very important institution in Ghana. Of course, we only deal with quality, reliable printing companies for our institution's printing materials. I'm talking about appointed time printing.
Appointed Time Printings. We take pride in our extensive print scope that transform your ideas into captivating visual masterpieces. We delve into the core objectives and vision of each print project. Precision printing is at the heart of our printing process as we meet your tight deadlines. Our rigorous inspection, color verification, and overall printing excellence are assured. 20 years of printing excellence. It's always a pleasure working with you to create a vibrant, dazzling printing experience that gives you a masterpiece. Appointed Time Printing, your world of quality and affordable printing.
Brush, 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 brush your teeth. Brush, 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 2 times a day. Brush with Kel-Kit.
Hello, my friends. My name is Kel-Kit Toothpaste.
Wow.
I was made to be gentle on your gum, but protected. I will protect your teeth from cavity, make your teeth whiter, stronger, keep your mouth fresh all day. And best of all, I'm strawberry flavored. So put on a smile and try me.
That's amazing.
Just try me. That's my job.
If you say so, jump on my brush. Makes your teeth stronger, chicky whiter, chicky stronger. Yay! You did it!
I'm glad you like your new toothpaste. Don't forget to brush both day and night.
Kel Kids, happy smile.
Chichi woni nara mi din eje baby dapa me dia de sonko kra na ebremo nya odi to aduane mu ama waduane eje pa na me de bremo eno any some spices dey ebuwa wo bebre o various flavors ubenya eya akoko ubenya nantwie yedi gu jollof mu ma emu yede ubenya yedi gu nkwan mu yedi gu froye mu ho na kope bito na ema waduane enye de unyimi nia yenkonko tie nyankofo eka
Autant de communication, ni enjoy Oduba, that Samu spices. One in the essence, don't fight. I'm taking the Dariaga. Samu spices in a Sabi, Daddy so say. Samu spices, Moon Samu.
Samu spices, Yama chicken.
Samu spices.
In Sanaka in Kitswa, measure 10 grams. Yawa chicken, spaghetti, garlic and ginger, stew, and jollof. Any flavors, Alfredo bebre.
Samu spices, yes, Saka.
The festive season is here again, and your most preferred estate partner is giving you 25% discount on land sale. Yes, for our Bronya Asase promo, Estate Masters is offering this massive discount for outright purchases. This includes free indenture, free site plan, and a free site visit. So what are you waiting for? Rush now and secure a plot of land while it is still hot. Reach out to us using the numbers below or visit our website at www.estatemastersgh.com. Estate Masters, your most preferred estate partner.
At the heart of Amasaman, along the Accra Sawam Road, something fresh is growing. At Pop Farms, we raise 100% organic broilers, naturally fed, humanly raised, and processed with the highest hygiene standards. Whether you're feeding a family at home, serving dinners in your restaurant, stocking your supermarket, or running a busy chop bar, Pop Farms delivers freshly frozen, premium quality chicken straight from our farm to your table. Fast, reliable doorstep delivery, fair prices, grown with care right here in Ghana. Clean, healthy, local, organic. That's the Pop Farms promise. Call us today on 024-777-3668 or 054-290-4156 or email sales@popfarmsgh.com. Pop Farms, raising the standard of poultry in Ghana.
Pop Farms chicken, naturally raised, honestly delivered.
Background. Well, they say variety is the spice of life, isn't it? Yeah, today we decided to give you something different. We're in any case, we're in the Utah season, and so we want to excite your eyes. We want you to feel something slightly different from what you're used to. Don't worry, we'll be reverting to the studio that you're used to. And it's not going to be a permanent venue, a permanent studio, but it's just, something different for today. Anyway, so my guests are seated. In fact, one of them is here. And this person I'm talking about, she's more like a sister to me. We go way back. I'm talking about the lady who speaks for the president, but in a capacity as deputy. So she's a deputy presidential spokesperson. I'm talking about Shamima Muslim. She tells me all the time that she's still a journalist. So once a journalist. In fact, just this morning, she made an observation. She said, Moro, have you noticed there's a certain story that's is all over the newspapers? She said, well, what's happening? I said, me too, I don't know.
What are you even talking about? DJ
Shamima, good to see you. Good morning.
Good morning. Wa alaikum salam, my dear brother.
Yeah.
I hope you're well.
I'm well, alhamdulillah.
A while though.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah,
I hope all is well.
You have been very busy too.
Well, doing good things.
Yes.
And really happy about where we are.
Okay.
As a country, where we are going.
Right.
There's a different feel to governance as
Right.
everybody is witnessing. And I think that anybody witnessing this revival, resetting, under the leadership of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, is witnessing some history that is evolving. And to the extent that we can all work together and consolidate the gains that we have made, especially this year, I know that Ghana will be the better off for it, and that the good times are even not here yet. But the signs are positive. The signs are positive.
I've heard some people say that, quite clearly, you're still in your honeymoon, what do you call it, season. And the goodwill is still out there. I mean, I think there's no doubt about it at all. I think that, as you said, Ghanaians, by and large, are happy with what's happening. But I've also heard some people say, it's actually not part of our main conversation for today, but since you brought it up, but I've also heard some people say that it's not new, really. I mean, first years usually, or typically, governments tend to enjoy that goodwill and that honeymoon. The real test, litmus test, is usually from the second year. How do you respond to that?
Well, I think that we can respect everyone's opinion, and there's some truth in it to be said that in the first year of a new government, it is still largely an audit of the outgone government. It's a fair point to make, but the only nuance here is also the fact that we couldn't afford the liberty of being a mere housekeeping government because of where we took the country from. So if you make that kind of comparison, you would see just how much work has gone into recovering our country this particular year. And so you may not necessarily be able to compare it to previous transitional, years, because the country was in a really bad place. And there's no way we could have maintained this level possible with, working together to rebuild this country. And I think that largely that is what has restored the trust. If you may, I would just like to take a few minutes of your time to do a number of things, as this might be my last show on my appearance of the show for the year.
Right.
And I would like, with your kind permission, to read the message of President John Dramani Mahama in our 2024 manifesto, Resetting Ghana for Jobs, Accountability and Prosperity. In the last page of that speech, that his message to the manifesto, he said that as a social democratic party, we have an immutable commitment to inclusive growth through health, education, and sports investment. We are intentional about social inclusion, addressing the needs of core constituencies such as women, youth, children, persons with disability, older people, and marginalized groups, promoting equal access to public services and protection from abuse. We remain unequivocally committed to promoting good governance, principled that when we combine our collective energies and efforts, we can rescue our beloved country and build a great nation that offers opportunities for all and a bright future for our children. The NDC government, I will about you, serving with dedication, selflessness, and deep love for the country.
Okay.
I solemnly pledge to lead by example and to demand the highest standards of ethical conduct from all appointees. I promise to exact accountability from all public officials, past and present. By the grace of the Almighty God and with your support, we shall reset and build the Ghana we want together.
Okay.
Tomorrow, if you were to mark President Mahama based on just this last page of what he promised, even when he was not fully aware of the extent of decay, you can't but give him an excellent for at least answering every single one of these commitments he made.
Okay.
And so we'll start first with gratitude, because indeed, as he said, but for the resilience and the hard work and the sacrifices that Ghanaians, especially Ghanaian public sector workers, even private sector workers, were willing to embrace, we wouldn't have been here. You would recall that in our first budget, we had to negotiate a base pay, 9%. It was not good enough, but the situation demanded that, and the workers of Ghana acquiesced to the appeal of President John Dramani Mahama and allowed him to operate within our means. So gratitude, first of all, goes to the citizens of Ghana, our partners, our development partners, our trading partners, for holding hands with us in this particularly difficult year. Because you were willing to walk the path with President Mahama, today we are turning around the fortunes of this country. The economy is rebounding. Our cedi has stabilized. We are now on a more sustainable debt repayment plan. We have not defaulted on our debts. We have paid accordingly. In fact, our growth has gone ahead of what we had anticipated from the budget that we read, and debt sustainability is back on the books. All our partners, from a junk economy status to a positive outlook one, everybody is hailing President Mahama for this very quick and transformative turnaround. And so, to our dear citizens, we say thank you first and foremost. To the workers of Ghana, in fact, it has not been an easy year. But because you believed, because you showed up, and because you worked hard and you collaborated, things are beginning to look up. So thank you also to the workers of Ghana. Also to all appointees. Without obeying the instructions and the directive of President John Dramani Mahama, we couldn't have possibly ended this year without a scintilla of scandal. No scandal. Because we believed when President John Dramani Mahama says that if you decide to be the bad nut, we will deal with you without apology. When President Mahama announced that he was going to lead by example, perhaps people didn't trust. But he needed to act consistently, because it is hard to restore trust. And you can only restore trust by engaging in bold actions, consistent actions. And so when President Mahama came, he told all of us that he's not going to ask Ghanaians to tighten their belts whilst him and his appointees were enlarging their territories. He said, we're going to sacrifice alongside the people of Ghana. So what did he do? He instituted a code of conduct for all appointees. In it, in fact, just 2 weeks ago, we received a memo from the Chief of Staff, Mr. Julius Deborah, reminding us that even as we prepare for the holidays, we should be minded by the provisions of our code of conduct. no profligacy, no lack of prudence, no arrogance of power. We should think about the public purse in everything that we do. We're reminded also that we are not allowed. So those of you who have not received any hampers from any state institution or government office, we're reminded that we're not allowed to use public funds to purchase hampers for anybody. And these are all things we're doing to do what? To plug the holes and ensure that we save the public purse so that the economy can, rebound more productively. President Mahama told all of us that we're not going to have it free for all. So, as I say to you, all appointees were also supposed to make donations to the Mahama Care Fund. Those who failed to meet the asset declaration, deadline, were directed to commit some of their salary to the Mahama Care Fund, as you may well know. So all of these things, the fuel allocations, which was cancelled, unless you're going for an official duty, then you go for fuel allocation, but free fuel was cancelled. So there were things that needed to be done for even as appointees to wake up very quickly that it is not business as usual. You're not going to get away with wastage. In fact, budgets were strictly cut for all national events. It started with the commemoration of the 6th March Independence Anniversary, if you may recall.
Right.
And it has followed through every activity that we have done. So, Maura, if you even will throw your mind back, we have had so many activities at the presidency. Why? Because we're not going to pay any hotels and for all of that. We use local caterers, we bring them to the presidency. So the presidency has been opened up in a way that we have never seen before in all of these activities, as cost-cutting measures, as accountability to the people. And today we would like to say thank you also to the appointees for keeping faith with the president, for also bearing a brand of the sacrifice that we are expected to make as an egalitarian political philosophy, that I am because of my brother, because of all of us. And if my brother is not yet comfortable, I should not be excessively comfortable either. And that spirit is what is driving us. For the first time, when we speak about democracy and the decay of democracy, we speak about political parties too, because stronger political parties will reflect our democratic, journey. And we do know that political parties, in and of themselves, also have their own inherent weaknesses. They are usually not as democratic, sometimes internally, as they should be. But the NDC is also going through a reset, as you know it. People are speaking out respectfully, and yet there's that invisible hand of leadership steering all of us so we don't stir the waters too much to the point that it becomes destructive to our forward movement. The NDC is the most attractive political party in Ghana. And I'm telling you that if God wills it, the NDC is going to be in power for a long while yet because of the good works of President John Dramani Mahama. So again, let me invite all of you, Ghanaians, young people who are looking for a safe space, a transformative space. The NDC is the place to be. So you are welcome to join the umbrella family as President Mahama leads this transformative agenda, the rank and file of the party. We say thank you. Your sacrifices have been commendable and are appreciated. To our grassroots, you are the heartbeat of this party, and you remain the heartbeat of President Mahama's government. He will never turn his back on you. Everything we are doing is to expand opportunities that every Ghanaian will be able to participate in this economy equitably, fairly, justly. And that includes all of you, our grassroots, our agents who worked so hard. Those of you who still haven't gotten what you wish you would have gotten in this first year, know that there is more ahead for all of us. as we work together to build our collective value, to expand our economy, to expand opportunities through the investments we are making in critical sectors, so that you would know that even this year, whilst we struggle to pay our debts, we had learned lessons on how not to be a bad government, lessons on how not to be a bad opposition. And these lessons are what is guiding President Mahama's leadership. So thank you, President Mahama, in particular. After thanking the NDC family, thank you for your courage and your boldness. More, it is said that the greatest virtue is courage, because without courage, we cannot practice any other virtue consistently. You cannot practice integrity, honesty, discipline, hard work consistently if you don't have the courage to show up. And the president shows up every single day. Let me just take through. From Friday, the president woke up to attend the Pan-African Summit at the Accra International Conference Center. And it was a long program. When he left there, he was at the Castle Gardens with his vice president, with his chief of staff, with all his senior government appointees, to make merry with the staff of the presidency and some entities under the Office of Government Machinery. For the first time, we have instituted the Best Worker Award, and we awarded 3 civil servants for their extraordinary dedication and hard work this particular year. The president spent time with the workers to tell them that he sees their sacrifices, he honors their sacrifices, and he appreciates everything they have done in supporting his Resetting Ghana agenda. He stayed with us and gave us a message of inspiration and assurance that together we will build this Ghana that we want, where workers will earn respectable incomes, where the economy would work for all of us, where the workers will not feel fearful upon the exit of an administration because we are living in times where political vindictiveness, we've experienced political vindictiveness from the past. The workers were very happy. And this was about the 4th event we had organized for workers. When we came, we organized a staff Durbar, where the chief of staff promised them then that when they work hard, we will be watching. But because they had been used to, politicians saying things that they don't mean, I'm sure they were not, they didn't believe it until Nana Oye made the announcement of who had won the Best Worker Award with the promise of an all-paid holiday trip to a very beautiful location. This is how you restore trust. You make a bold commitment, you make a bold promise, and you live through it. And the workers of the presidency have become so inspired. In fact, during the president's birthday, he made time to meet with the you call them the gardeners, the cleaners. He made time to meet with them, to tell them that we see you too. You may be the unhidden figures, the voices we never hear, but you keep our environment clean. You clean up, our offices. You nurture the gardens, and you give the presidency such a beautiful look. The president sees each and every member of this community contributing. And then we held an International Women's Day where we brought all the women of the presidency to our big hall, our big auditorium, banquet hall. Many of them had not sat in that banquet hall. They only see it from TV when we invite big people. They sat in the banquet hall. They were feted in the banquet hall. They were made to know that this country belongs to them equally. And then International Women's Day, we commemorated it. The Breast Cancer Awareness Day, we brought them again, and we brought doctors to speak to them, and we gave them, presents. Then International Men's Day, again, we organized all the men of the presidency, civil servants, political appointees. They came, they made merry. They met with the Secretary of Cabinet, Professor Dansu, who spoke to them, and they were surprised. They told that they never knew. They had never seen him before. They never knew that he was such an industrious man. The stories he shared to them, the inspiration Chief of Staff gave to them about, taking care of their health as men. These are things that we are not used to. So when we say that the resetting is touching every aspect of this economy, these are examples. We are not just talking, we are doing, and people are feeling, and they are beginning to breathe again, to believe that they matter, and to believe, most importantly, that the government, under His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, the Vice President, our mother, Professor Jane Nana Opoku-Agyeman, with the support of our First Lady, Mrs. Lordina Mahama, they know that they have leaders that mean well for them and leaders that will do everything to turn around their own individual, fortunes. Nation building, dear citizens, requires a fair amount of prose, poetry, and action. The prose is the reality of our situation, where we came from as a nation and where we are heading to. The promised land is near. Poetry to stir your hearts, to believe again, to be excited about the prospects of tomorrow. And of course, action, because faith without works is dead. And we are seeing the action all around. And your president is the example. This past weekend, you have seen him as you have seen him every day, show up to everybody. After that, in the evening of that Friday morning, he was at the Jubilee House to commemorate the Festival of 9 Carols and Lessons. He was there. The night before, he had attended Parliament's own. It finished very late. Saturday, he was en route to Takoradi to inspect ongoing road projects and to direct the Minister of Roads to ensure that they, pay up some monies for the completion of those critical roads. When he came back, he was on his way to also make time for family. His son Sharaf had organized an international boxing bout, opening up Ghana to the world. And as many of us, got surprised to know that DAZN were at the heart of that, event. That is commendable. The following day, Sunday, the president was off to Bono region to cut sword for the construction of roads. Today, he has he'll be receiving publicly the Constitution Review, report amongst other activities before he rounds up, the year. Okay. That is the president Ghana has given us. A hard-working president, a president par excellence, a president so involved in the leadership and the management of this country that the least we can do as his subjects, as his masters really, is to work with him so he delivers the promise he has made to us. Thank you, Ghana. It's been a great year, and next year would even be better, and we're looking forward to working with all of you to build this better Ghana. Thank you.
All right. Shams, that's...
It's a long one.
Yes,
so if I don't say anything again, I can close it.
It's understandable. You're a deputy spokesperson for the president, so you have a lot to say for and on behalf of the president. So we can grant you that. We can grant you that. But also joining us is one of your your colleague and sister, Ellen Ahmad.
I haven't seen her in such a long time.
Yes. She's also joined us this morning. Ellen Ahmad, good morning. It's good to see you. I hope you're doing very well.
How come we all have red something around?
Yes.
Did we sleep on the safe side of the bed?
Red looks really
Anyways,
good on
Christmas.
You, have you asked for dark? Those of us who are dark, there's specific colors that look really good on us. I think red is one of them.
Yes, that is true.
Yes. That
is true.
You wore it once. No, it looks really, really good on you. Yes. It looks like Val's Day has come early.
This is Christmas.
I know, but I've been saying that, on Val's Day, everybody wears red.
I don't wear red on Val's Day.
You don't wear red?
No.
What do you wear on Val's Day?
Normal clothing.
As some celebrations in this country, it looks like as we grow older, we tend to sort of disregard them, not as in disregard them, but we don't pay that much attention to them, Right.
Who are actively looking. So.
Okay. Oh, okay. All right. So I'm told that there's a challenge with her microphone, isn't it?
Mine? So everything I've been saying, nobody heard.
Oh, okay. All right. So we'll take a break. We'll take a break, and then we'll return in it. We'll return in a jiffy. Please stay with us.
Start your Kids Day the right way, filled with confidence to take on any challenge. Pepsodent Kids contains the right amount of fluoride and sugar acid protection to care for their developing gums and teeth. Grab either orange or strawberry so they brush with the sweet flavor they love morning and evening. Pepsodent Kids, giving your children a bright smile for a brighter future.
Are you a headmaster, headmistress, parent, teacher, or an educator looking for high-quality textbooks for preschool, primary, and junior high school students? Look no further than Advocate Publishing Company. Advocate Publishing Company is a leading publisher of educational materials in Ghana that publishes very engaging, interactive, and comprehensive textbooks that meet the needs of students, teachers, and parents. Our textbooks are thoroughly published to make learning fun and easy. They are also designed to stimulate critical thinking, problem solving, and creativity in students. Make Advocate Publishing your preferred choice for all your educational needs. Explore our range of textbooks and educational resources. Visit us at the old GNTC yard near Kingsway, Accra. You can contact us on 0503 786 776 or 02408 06354, also 0531 600360, and connect with us on Instagram, X, and Facebook at Advo Publishing. Don't settle for less. Choose the best. Advocate Publishing Company, empowering young minds one textbook at a time. Thinking publishing, think Advocate Publishing.
In a world where everything is connected, your business's security is only as strong as its weakest link. The growing threat of cybercrime has become an unescapable reality. In 2025 alone, the projected cost of cybercrime is expected to grow to $10 trillion globally, with small-medium businesses disproportionately targeted. Cyber threats have become increasingly sophisticated, widespread, and invisible, placing unequipped organizations at risk of massive damages in a matter of seconds. Meet Virtual InfoSec Africa, Ghana's Tier 1 certified managed security service provider. We don't just monitor threats, we predict, prevent, and respond 24/7. At Virtual InfoSec Africa, we deliver bold and cost-effective cybersecurity solutions tailored to your organization's size and complexity. Whether you're a startup or a national institution, our services scale with your needs. We offer 24/7 SOC monitoring, early warning threat intelligence, managed detection and response, digital forensics and incident response, and predictive analysis and threat hunting. From endpoint protection to dark web forensics, we secure every layer of your digital ecosystem. Why wait for a breach to act? Join the ranks of high institutions who trust Virtual InfoSec Africa to secure their future. Start your 3-month free trial of our early warning threat intelligence platform today. For more inquiries, contact 055-689-2086 or visit our website at www.virtualinfosecafrica.com.
Yes, next. Hey, Nadia Benson, Asamo.
Me didn't tum. Miss your friend me calico, just call me cockroach. Now miss your friend me once now.
Hey, it's you.
Improve car.
Yeah.
Captain was key to double the action. Me did this sasso spray. Miss your friend is sasso quell. Yeah, go to my sasso now.
Come tom preko.
Ama, nansi mi cheno wo bin enko ye kwao. Ama ma ye bohu se kontomra akija.
Nansi me hu se me nyo basi makura. Ama me kunu ni me into kwankwa. Oh you right. Enye mo ko. Give us GC mixture and any capsules. Aye num boom. Enho asem na mo kana. Ebua emma ene meme nyina. Ne ma wo ba ye obesima. Na be ma so aye bemasima. Ya, we be bua wuku. Ama ne giant sa wo de hye ne botum. Na wanyinya nanim ti sese ni oyi chokmo.
Give us GC mixture and a capsule. Achesa.
A pay for a batter, one more menu for an inquiry when you feel to me.
Are you a public sector worker dreaming of owning your own home but worried about the upfront cost? At Rehoboth Havens, we've made home ownership not only possible but simple, affordable, and convenient. For the first time, you can own your own home with no physical deposit required. Through our partnership with reputable Ghanaian banks, your Provident Fund becomes your deposit, making the process smooth and stress-free. After that, you simply pay the balance through an affordable mortgage with monthly installments designed to fit your income. With mortgage rates as low as 15% and a repayment period of up to 20 years, securing your future home has never been easier. And the best part, every Ghanaian worker deserves a decent home. Own your 2-bedroom home today, starting from just 675,000 Ghana cedis, or upgrade to our executive 3 and 4 bedrooms, all on sweet homes, even for more space, comfort, and luxury. Rehoboth Havens is located in the serene hills of Ayi-Mensah Damfa, offering breathtaking views of the Pediasi Ebri Mountains. Here, you're not just buying a house, you are joining a secure gated community designed for peace, privacy, and comfortable family living. Say goodbye to land litigation, building stress, and construction delays. Say hello to your own home. Move-in ready and free from legal complications. Secure your retirement now. For more information, call us today at +233 55 375 1933 or +233 20 682 3524. Rehoboth Social Housing. Your housing dream becomes reality.
In my line of work, a confident smile is everything. Kel Charcoal Toothpaste keeps me on top of my game and ensures my smile is always radiant and bright.
With the tiring nature of my job, we spend several hours under the scorching sun. To keep our teeth white and our breath fresh all the time, we use none other than Kel Charcoal Toothpaste. Kel Charcoal Toothpaste. You're on a Kessie and in a kit one.
Samayo Kendini, a who be here, Semetra Sapapadia to Amame Manfo, Kel Charcoal's natural ingredients, and a bomb is so by a man swing, Nesansu Mama Hotoso, a bedroom.
Kel Charcoal Toothpaste. Choose Kel Charcoal Toothpaste for anti-cavity, whiter teeth, and fresher breath all day. Available in 80 gram and 150 gram. Grab yours today.
Kel, happy smile. This advert is FDA approved.
At the heart of Amasaman, along the Accra Sawam Road, something fresh is growing. At Pop Farms, we raise 100% organic broilers, naturally fed, humanly raised, and processed with the highest hygiene standards. Whether you're feeding a family at home, serving dinners in your restaurant, stocking your supermarket, or running a busy chore bar, Pop Farms delivers freshly frozen, premium quality chicken straight from our farm to your table. Fast, reliable doorstep delivery, fair prices, grown with care right here in Ghana. Clean, healthy, local, organic. That's the Pop Farms promise. Call us today on 024-777-3668 or 054-290-4156 or email sales@popfarmsgh.com. Pop Farms, raising the standard of poultry in Ghana.
Pop Farms chicken, naturally raised, honestly delivered.
All right, you're still watching Good Morning Ghana on Metro Television. My name is Al Dumoro. My guest is seated. As I did indicate, I was earlier talking to Shamima Muslim, who's the Deputy Presidential Spokesperson, where she was giving us some opening remarks about stuff that she believed that Ghanaians ought to know, how far this government has come, what the president has been up to, etc., etc. And also, Elena Madekun is also with us here. She is one of the aides, I believe, to Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Amma, please remind me of that. The other day when you came, you had to remind me exactly what your role is at the office of the former vice president. You're an aide, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay. She's also an aide to the former vice president, who is the former standard bearer of the NPP. I'm talking about 2024 elections. Of course, is an aspiring standard bearer for the New Patriotic Party as well. So she's been assisting Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia in his quest to become the next flag bearer of the NPP, and of course, to meet his to actualize his dream of becoming the next president of this country someday. So, Ellen.
Hi.
Whilst you were seated, you heard your sister and friend Shamima Muslim giving us opening remarks about how far this year has been, the kind of leadership that the president has shown since he assumed office, and also what the president's expectations is going forward, and so on and so forth. I'll also perhaps ask you to tell us about the New Patriotic Party in opposition. It's been almost a year. How have things been? You know, what are some of the things that you believe that the party could have perhaps done better, or you think that the party has done well that ought to be commended? And also, going forward, what are some of the things that you'll be expecting? Because at the moment, you don't have a flag bearer, so you can't necessarily speak for a flag bearer. You can only speak for the party. And of course, understandably, you can speak for Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia because you work for and with him. So you have about some 10-15 minutes to do that as well before we move to our more substantive issues for the day.
Good morning.
Yeah.
Good morning, Shamima. Good morning to our viewers. 2025.
Reflections.
Yes. It's been an interesting year, I believe, for the NPP and for Dr. Bawumia. It's been a very busy year. We are still busy. As we speak today, he's starting his Greater Accra regional tour. I'm sure by 12 midday.
How many regions has he done so far?
He's done 14.
14. Okay.
So
there's 2 more to go.
2 more to go. When he's done with Greater Accra, it will be 14.
Okay.
So this is the 14th. After Greater Accra, then there will be Ashanti and Northern region proper. So this afternoon he will be starting with Pram, Sege, Ada, and Tema. I think Tema West. And so we are on it. Okay. I would like to, on behalf of Dr. Bawumia and on behalf of the team, his campaign team, actually say a big thank you to the Upper West, the Upper East, Savannah region, and the Northeast region. He's been there for the last almost 6 weeks. And I would like to say thank you to all our delegates for the rousing welcome they gave him. As they all know, we are just 40 days away from the elections.
Right.
And it is quite obvious Dr. Bawumia is the choice. But we need to step out and actually make him the choice by a huge margin. So I want to say a huge thank you to all of them. And we are not relenting. We are still moving on with the last 3 big regions. And by God's grace, I know we would finish it up before the 31st of January. And because of the decision by our National Council, the MPP's National Council, to move the flag bearer race forward and have it early so we have a substantive leader. And then we can then reorganize ourselves towards election 2028. This year has been a very busy year for the NPP. We had to do a few changes, including constitutional changes. We had to get to our delegates, speak to them. The whole party is reorganizing. Has it been easy? I don't think so.
Right.
But it's been a good exercise, and we are gradually getting over the initial issues that came up. And we are all geared up. And I know by the 31st, when we have our leader, that is going to be Dr. Bawumia, we would all then be settled, and then we can, give a proper opposition to the NDC government. In the last 1 year, it's been a honeymoon for them from our side. We haven't really been critical of them because we've also been very busy. Yes, we've been critical, but not too critical because we've been very busy with our own matters. And that's all part of the reason why we wanted to resolve our home matters quickly. And then we can get them to actually do what they promised to do for Ghanaians. So after the 31st, I believe that is when we would have settled properly into position. Okay. They would also have settled properly into governance and into power. And then we can properly start, or we can properly get them to do the business of governance well. As Shamima just said, they have settled. It looks like they have settled in quite nicely, from what she's saying. Even though I believe that we shouldn't congratulate them and hail them for doing their job. It's a job you asked for. It's a job you campaigned for, and it's a job you were given. So if you have done it well, and that's by the estimation, we haven't seen. I still don't see anything extraordinary about what they've done this year. But in their estimation, if they think they've done well, we hear. But we'll go into the nitty-gritties later about their 1 year. I believe from next year, when they are properly 1 year, we will do that. But the whole year, as a Ghanaian, I feel this year has been one of the difficult years we've had as a nation. It's been we've had quite a few traumatic incidences, accidents, things we wish never happened, but they did. It affected every one of us. In the NPP, we lost a young, vibrant MP in Neskumi. We just had his funeral barely 3 weeks ago. For some of us, it hit us because we worked with him. In a few months prior to his death, I had traveled with him and Dr. Bawumia to Belgium for the IDU conference. Healthy, hearty, looking forward to finishing his final exams.
You trended, I saw the pictures.
Yes.
You're all over the place. You're feeling cold too.
Very. final exams at law school, and we had a hearty conversation, me, him, and the MP for Ayensuano, Ida. And so we come back, and in barely 2 months, Ernest is gone. It's a shock. It's still, some of us are still trying to see it. And for the MPP side, it's not been a pleasant side for us. Of course, the NDC too did not have it easy. And in fact, it's not just them, the whole nation did not have it easy with the helicopter crash and the death of our defense minister, is it environmental minister, deputy national security coordinator, the Ashanti regional, no, he's the deputy national chairman of the NDC, and then the young man from Obuasi, the PC. And then the soldiers, the 4 young men. That's also been another headache and another sad spectacle. I don't know how to explain it, but and for those of us who knew personally, I knew Dr. Omane Boamah on the political side, and of course, he's from the Eastern region. He went to Pope John's, I went to St. Rosa's. So we've had that cordial relationships there, and for him to just disappear in such a terrible circumstance is still raw. And so the nation is mourning. Then we had these young people who went to church, went for a camp meeting.
Yeah.
They were coming back home. Is it a camp or youth camp or whatever it is? Coming back home, 17 or 18 of them. Just dead like that there. I'm talking about the Obugu incident. That's also another heavy one for the nation. And then the young ladies who were just going to look for a job at the military recruitment and all the terrible things that happened. And I hear a few of them are still in the hospital.
Okay.
They are not out yet. So I believe, Shamim, I believe that support is still going to them. I believe it is, because I heard the Deputy Defense Minister talking about it. I think we should not forget them, those who are in the hospital. They are still trying to survive, because Ashanti region, to that same day, a few incidents also happened. We should still look at them. So this year has been quite tough for us, a national psyche. And I'm praying that we do not have such a year again. At least in our lifetimes, we don't experience such terrible misfortunes. We are moving into a new year. For the NPP, 2026 is also going to be another very, very busy year. After our primaries for the presidential elections in January, by March, we will start with our polling station elections, because their time will be up. The 4 years will be up. Then March, April, May, we will start with the constituency elections. In between there, I'm sure we are going to have the parliamentary elections for the orphan constituencies. After that, then we'll have the regional elections somewhere in May, late May. And then July, August, we're going to have our national executive elections. And then that is when we had gone the full cycle of 4 years changing leadership in the party, right from the grassroots all the way to the top. So next year, God willing, giving us life, is also going to be a very, very busy year for the NPP. But as I said, because we by then would already have our flag bearer, we are going to really, I can assure the NDC government that that's when they will see proper opposition. Right now, it's just honeymoon, having fun, and the fun is ending by the 31st of January. So that is where we are now. I'm just wishing that this 2026 will be better for us as a country. I'm not just me, I'm sure a lot of us are still trying to get ourselves back together. And all the incidents, especially the accidents, the things that led to those accidents, for those we know, we should correct them. No way should such horrible incidents happen again. And for the young ladies, the LWAC matter, I still believe that some heads have to roll. I still haven't heard if any heads have rolled yet on the military side. I heard there's an investigation going on. There's a whole committee. I don't know the timings given them when they are supposed to present their work. But I think all of us should keep an eye on them. We shouldn't forget. That situation should not happen again. Young people shouldn't step out to go and look for work and come home dead. So some of us are going to follow up on that. We still haven't heard anything. I presume the committee is still working. So let's see how it goes. Such things should not happen. Because next year there'll still be another round of what do we call it? Recruitment.
Yes.
And this shouldn't happen again.
Okay. Well, let me thank you very much for your opening remarks as well. So, Shab, I want us to get into what I'll call the more substantive issues for the day. Now, you notice that about 3 or 4 newspapers today are talking about, have publications that talks about leadership, because 2 of you have said it time and again, that leadership matters. Leadership matters. And they say leadership is cause, everything else is effect. Just that I have always argued that leadership is important, but the followership is also very important. You know, the mindset of the followership. If the work of the leader is going to be easy or tough. But anyway, it's not about the followership today, it's about leadership. So you look at the Ghanaian Times today, and the Ghanaian Times has the picture of our own very good friend, Reverend Stephen Wengam, Assemblies of God Church. Now, he's been saying some really, really interesting things, and I want us to have a conversation about it. Now, the Ghanaian Times is talking about political leadership must pursue national vision. Now, that story is on page 12 of the paper, and is a Times reporter. It's by a Times reporter. It said the General Superintendent of the Assemblies of God, Ghana, Reverend Yenosom Wengam, let me pronounce the full name, has spoken strongly against the abuse of power in political circles, the corporate world, workplace, and marital homes as means to promote selfish interest or get undue advantage. In the name of acquiring wealth, reigning political positions, or gaining promotion in the workplace, some people use all sorts of wicked means to mistreat or eliminate their perceived enemies. This is what King Harold attempted against baby Jesus, and such a crude method we must eschew as political leaders or private individuals. He was speaking at the forecourt of the State House in Accra on Friday to mark the festival of 9 lessons and carols hosted by Parliament of Ghana. Present was President John Dramani Mahama, who reads a scripture. There were other scriptural, readings from the Speaker of Parliament, Mr. Alban Sumana Bagni, the Clerk of Parliament, Ebenezer Homer Jetro, and the Director General of the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation, GBC, Professor Amin Al-Hassan, as well as representatives of the majority and minority leaders in Parliament. Reverend Wengam, who is also the Vice Chairman of the Africa Assemblies of God Alliance, said the Christmas story presented critical lessons for personal and national advancement. One such lesson is reconciliation. He emphasized that the Christmas story was meaningless unless humanity took resolute steps to turn away from their sins and seek reconciliation with God, their Maker, who alone could guarantee their success in life. Okay? Now, the Daily Guide has a similar story, and I want us to look at it, where it says Reverend Wenga slams abuse of power. Now, he said this one is also a Daily Guide report. He said the General Superintendent of the Assemblies of God, Reverend Stephen Yenosom Wengam, has spoken strongly against the abuse of power in political circles, the corporate world, and within marital homes, warning against its use to promote selfish interest or gain undue advantage. I'm saying so. That's a similar, story. Now, Shamima, one of the things that has often come up in our conversations, especially on media platforms, has to do, and of course on social media, has to do with the tendency for politicians to tend to abuse power and to forget that once upon a time, or not long ago, they went to the very people they are abusing, to beg for their votes. They get the votes, and then they come to power, and then the arrogance sets in, and all kinds of things. What do you make of Reverend Stephen Wengam's call for politicians not to abuse power? Please put your microphone on. Yes.
Sorry.
Yes.
Thank you. I'm saying that we have known Reverend Wengam for a while.
Very.
From City FM when he was a radio pastor. In fact, you see a foot to and sakra nipa jisen nsoshe.
True.
But it would also look as if the political breed is one of the breeds that's sometimes refuses to just learn from, past mistakes, and so bound to repeat the same kinds of mistakes. So the caution is in the right direction, really, because at the heart of democracy, it's about the people, right? And for us, we have chosen a multi-party electoral democracy. There are democracies that are not multi-party democracies. So, for example, one party has ruled China for a long time. So many other nations will not call themselves multi-party democracy. Ours is supposed to be a multi-party democracy, even though it has become a duopoly between the NDC and the NPP. And that is also not really novel if you compare us to the United Kingdom, even though their system is quite different, but it is two dominant political parties that have ruled for a very long time. In the US, it's the same, two dominant political parties. You would find smaller parties every now and then. They may even win some seats here and then, but they never rise to become, to make government, to win national elections and make government. So in the case of Ghana, it is these two political parties that we have. I mean, will we have a third force anytime soon? It does not look like it, you know, but especially if we are all able to put our houses in order, it should not be that a third force might emerge, you know. But, well, the future remains unknown. Leadership is very important because leadership is supposed to provide a vision. Again, I think what you wanted to say is what people say, that a people will always get the kind of leadership they deserve, okay? And the reason why not everyone puts themselves out to be voted to lead is because everyone does not believe they possess the qualities to lead. So you who believe you possess the quality to lead, much is expected of you when you are given that opportunity. And especially as it is a democracy, you are supposed to be solving the problems of the people. And I agree wholly to the caution about not abusing power, because power has a way of corrupting even the most good-intentioned individuals. So it is the safeguards you put within your democracy that whittles down this power. And for us, it is the conversation around the excessive powers our Constitution has granted to the executive presidency, you know, where he holds almost all appointive powers, the power to, you know, sack and all of that. And it is in that kind of power that lends itself to abuse, because really a president becomes godlike on earth. You know, even if you haven't told institutions which are expected to be independent institutions to do certain things, there's this preconditioned, you know, attitude by some institutions. So when there is a change in, you know, government, all of a sudden they begin to sing different tunes in terms of, you know, but that's what they are supposed to do. If they do it well, they are supposed to remain neutral and consistent. And their loyalty is to the state first, but it's also to the government of the day, because you are working with the government of the day to execute a certain, you know, outcome. So, for example, institutions like the Ghana Police Service, institutions like GRA, institutions like the Ghana Armed Forces, IOCO, SHRAJ, you name even the anti-corruption institutions, they must know what is even in the manifesto of the NDC. Do you understand it? Because in place of a national development agenda, political party manifestos become the development policy blueprint. So what is this president saying he's going to do? How do I contribute to achieving his agenda to create a safer society, you know, to create a more inclusive society, to create a society of non-discrimination, because these are the ideals espoused in the NDC manifesto. And it is not government and their appointees alone that can deliver this, you know, mandate. It is all institutions working collaboratively, working in concert with the leader of the day, which is the president, you know, of the day. So, for example, when there are excesses and you have the president come out to say that, no, I don't expect this to happen, even to his own parliamentarians, when they make, you know, the recent issue regarding the OSP, it was quite unheard of, you know, that MPs would take a certain decision on the floor of the House. The political party of the day would distance themselves from that decision because it was not a decision that was discussed, you know, at the party level. And the president would caution and direct that they should reconsider that, decision, even though people would say that, but then where is the separation of powers? But those are where our democratic lines are blurred, because it is political parties that form government. It is the constitution that says that 2/3 of ministers, from your ministers must come from, parliament. And so there is that blurring of lines. And so we don't have strict separation of powers. And especially if you are a minister of government business, yes, 50%, sorry, must come from parliament. So leadership matters. And I think that for Ghana, especially now under the presidency of President John Dramani Mahama, we are beginning to see how a leader's conduct, character, and competence can actually shape the energy within the country. And all of a sudden, people are open, people are speaking out, people are, asserting their rights without fear or favor, because he has assured that do not be fearful about exercising your right, whether it's right to demonstration, whether it is right to protest, to picket. And so far within this year, we haven't had any of those images we saw when, young people were demonstrating against Galamsey, and they were rounded up and put in jail for weeks on end. We haven't seen that kind of abuse of power. And that is commendable. So please, all these institutions, sometimes they try to prove something, that they are loyal to a leader, and then they go beyond board. It is your duty to watch closely the persona of the person you're leading, listen to what he says, and then shape your own approach accordingly. President Mahama is not a vindictive person. He believes in the rule of law, as he has said consistently. And so far, the rule of law is working. Now, even members of the opposition have heeded his invitation to be citizens, not spectators. So sometimes, even at the expense of being a nuisance unto their own selves, they are exercising it, as rightly they should. But as they also exercise their rights, they must also know that institutions also reserve the right to also exercise their rights. And in the exercise of their rights, they must not be they must not be seen to be wanting to avoid accountability. At the base of all of this, the President and the NDC said it's a year of accountability. Accountability from, as I read to you, from his own, appointees and past appointees. In fact, this weekend, you may have heard Honorable Inusa Fuseni say that in the time after the NDC lost the elections, post-2016, he told everyone to stay and be accountable, especially if you were under any form of investigation. He himself did not go anywhere. Several times he was available. All the allegations that were made against him, he was available for investigations. Nothing came out of those, allegations. They were all trumped up allegations against him as a result of, political vindictiveness. Here we are. We have a finance minister that is out of the jurisdiction. I mean, can we hear the opinion of President Akufo-Addo? Has he made similar, comments to his appointees to stay within and face investigations if they are subjects of investigation? Have we heard the former flag bearer of the New Patriotic Party encourage appointees to stay within and be accountable and to, work collaboratively with the investigative agencies? Have we heard them? What they seem to be interested in is to be calling out the Attorney General for persecution. But we all know that it is beating about the bush. The real issues are there. Okay. Whoever is found wanting, whoever has done anything wrong, the Attorney General, would do his work as he should. And today at 11 o'clock, he will be giving another briefing, and that is the accountability that we promise. You see, we promised certain things, and we must deliver those things. Okay. We promised accountability. We promised creating jobs, and we promised prosperity. And that is what the leadership of John Mahama is attempting to do in these years that he has.
All right. So, Ellen, please bear with me. We'll take a small breather. Just a small breather, and then I can, because I don't want to interrupt you when you start flowing. So we'll take a small breather. Join us. Please stay with us. This is Good Morning Ghana on Metro 10.
Day the right way, filled with confidence to take on any challenge. Pepsodent Kids contains the right amount of fluoride and sugar acid protection to care for their developing gums and teeth. Grab either orange or strawberry so they brush with the sweet flavor they love morning and evening. Pepsodent Kids, giving your children a bright smile for a brighter future.
Ebusiafo ye mama kwaba eba Children's Palace. Nkwala nyema nyina fie enyi. Yonkwala ntade mani mema nyina ntare nyina wase. Yonkwala shoes, yonkwala duane, yonkwala wipes, yonkwala diapers, yonkwala toys, baby cot. In fact, bibia opama o manyina obenye biwa ase.
Located at East Legon Hills, Nana Chrome KFC. Contact us on 059-6377-172. Children's Palace. Happy children, happy fashion. See you soon. Bye-bye.
Wabedum Tamasun. Hey, J. Watch it, na learning. Missy, watch and learn. Makwaya mabesisia. Abozing. Akache say no ya konati and the more drink woman. Hey. But I didn't mean. Oh, sorry. She knew her old dish. Eji. Dabio, baby wom. Ready. Hey, baby wom. Ah, Aji. I'll cause some discomfort. Sorry, well, uncle, where would I die? Why your funeral?
Say a Pesori insecticide GB ato a user. Ko pharmacy na shop biamu. Na mum say a pharmacy supermarket and a shop ra. Na repedudu eto akotonwa. Ono fra Royal Dutch and na Aerofield Trading. Efi spray with daimwa.
At the heart of Amasaman, along the Accra Sawam Road, something fresh is growing. At Pop Farms, we raise 100% organic broilers, naturally fed, humanly raised, and processed with the highest hygiene standards. Whether you're feeding a family at home, serving dinners in your restaurant, stocking your supermarket, or running a busy chore bar, Pop Farms delivers freshly frozen, premium quality chicken straight from our farm to your table. Fast, reliable doorstep delivery, fair prices, grown with care right here in Ghana. Clean, healthy, local, organic. That's the Pop Farms promise. Call us today on 024-777-3668 or 054-290-4156 or email sales@popfarmsgh.com. Pop Farms, raising the standard of poultry in Ghana.
Pop Farms chicken, naturally raised, honestly delivered.
off. It's back on now. I hope you can hear me. All right. So this is Good Morning Ghana on Metro Television. I'm here with Ellen Amadeko. She is an aide to Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, who is a former vice president and also an aspiring standard bearer of the New Patriotic Party. But of course, she's here as a member of the MPP's communications team. And also, Shamima Muslim is a deputy presidential spokesperson. She is here with us. So, Ellen, abuse of power and matters arising.
So I have a few questions. Okay. Number one, who spoke about this abuse of power matter?
Reverend Tim Yenusom Wengam, Assemblies of God Church.
And the board chair for the Ghana Prison
Service. Okay. No, actually, he's the board chair of Ghana Immigration Service.
But he was board chair of Ghana Prison Service formerly in John Mahama One administration. Yes. So I presume that he was speaking to his friend and his party in power.
But not necessarily. Because he talked about governments with an S.
Moro. He was speaking to his friend and his party in power. A party from which he has benefited from quite well. In fact, his church has also benefited from quite well, because earlier this year we had information. He said it himself, the president said it, that he had built 10 churches for the Assemblies of God Church. So it's quite interesting that he's advising on abuse of power of politicians, of who you mentioned a few others, politicians and civil service.
In all spheres of our life.
In all spheres of our lives.
Whether at home.
Okay. Did he also mention the church and pastors and all that, and how?
I believe he meant it. Okay. Leadership at all levels. So all right. It's fair to assume that yes, it includes the church as well.
All right. So if you're taking from what the Osofo said.
So sorry, he talks about corporate world, marital homes, and then in our markets, yes, those are the three he's mentioned so far, yes.
So if we take it from what he said,
okay,
and moving from there, I want to say that, as I said, this is directed at the government and at his friend, the president. So it's good he's talking about it, because a few things have happened about abuse of power that I believe that we have to talk about. And since he has brought it up, we are going to talk about it. Number one, he has to talk to the president and this government. And it's good he's saying it, being part of the whole system. Because we've been here when, through dubious means and through a set agenda, the president has removed a chief justice, a certain chief justice. We still say that the current chief justice is disputed in our estimation. And I see that as abuse of power. Because you can, and because you said you will, you came into power and you did it. So perhaps that is one thing he should speak to the president and the government about. The removal of the former chief justice, how it went about, what they said in opposition, and how it has ended. That is a clear abuse of power. A second one is how they treated people they thought had done something by not simply inviting them, but by ransacking their homes earlier on in this year. The homes of the former governor of Bank of Ghana was ransacked. The man said his wife's jewelry was stolen. Even if you want something from him, you do not go into his house in the middle of the night and ransack the house. That is abuse of power. We also had a situation where Mr. Kenoforiate's house was also ransacked. His children and his family members were in the house. They were all put through very serious stuff. We haven't heard anything from government yet. It has gone swept under the carpet. And government is still hunting, witch hunting, Mr. Kenoforiata, when you haven't sent him to court. And this whole matter of he has to come back. He doesn't have to come back. You can still charge him. Charge him to court. Try him in absentia. It's been done before. There's nothing new about it. So this whole screaming about he has to come back, why should he come back? Why should he? So all these things, and I find it interesting that Papa Sofo is talking about that too. How the treatment of people that we say have former government appointees that they say have done something wrong. They are taken by the anti-corruption agencies, IOCO, what's the other one?
You mean FIC?
FIC,
NIB,
whoever picks them up, and then you set bail terms, draconian bail terms. As we speak, the former head of National Service Scheme is still in police cells because he has not been able to meet the bail conditions. You said somebody has taken about 800 million. That's the accusation, right. And then you set a bail condition of 600 and something million on him, with sureties, landed properties. How are you expecting him to get that? So he's been to court, he's been varied once, he's been to court, he's been varied twice, they are still varying it, and the man is still in custody. When a court of competent jurisdiction having decided that he's guilty, so he should be put in bail, it should be put in jail. Just bail conditions is taking him over 2 months. And this is not abuse of power. Giftiowari had to stay in Iyoko's hands for almost three weeks before her bail condition was also varied before she came home. Chairman Wuntumi had to go through the same thing. This is not abuse of power. So, Papa Osofo, I think you should rather narrow it down to the people you want to talk to and stop generalizing it, because it is not general. This whole matter, leadership, the past 1 year, I think this thing has just put the leadership of President Mahama in the last 1 year into perspective. He's been president before. In fact, he won this election on the back of, I can do it. I have done it before. I have experience. Let me do it. In the last 1 year, what do we see? A leader who has decided that instead of getting Ghana to move, he has decided that he's going to be chasing former appointees without any evidence, because if there's any evidence, somebody should be standing trial seriously. It's just this November that we heard that Mr. Ken Ofori-Atta's matter has even been sent to court. All the others, we are still waiting. A leader who promises the workers of Ghana, I'll give you 9% increment in your salary. Negotiations. The workers were saying they wanted 50%. You managed it, you got to 9%. Immediately you gave them the 9%, then you bring electricity tariffs of 9-point-something%. So as at by 1st January 2026, that 9% has been taken over by electricity adjustment. Water, 14.8%. So you have taken away your 9%. You have even eaten into their money that is not enough by 14.8%. Meanwhile, this year, we've had so many tariff increases. In fact, you promised us that you are bringing the Dumso levy of 1 cedi per liter of fuel, and that was going to take care of all the energy sector issues. But you keep on increasing electricity. So the question that we ask is, Mr. Mahama, President Mahama, this year, I thought we were going to wait to do this in January, but since Reverend Wingham has brought it up, I think your leadership this year, we should take a look at it, because this is affecting our pockets. We have a president who tells us that the economy is on the right track. Inflation is at 6-point-something%.
6.3.
6.3%. The dollar is at 10 cedis or 11 cedis.
10.45.
But the tin of milk that I bought last year, December, and I'll specify the kind of milk, the ideal milk, the small tin I bought last year, December, at 8 cedis a tin. This morning, I bought it for my boys at home. It was 12 cedis a tin.
A tin of milk?
A tin of milk.
Last year was 6 cedis.
Was 8 cedis.
8 cedis.
Last year, December.
This year is 12 cedis.
It's 12 cedis. Other people sell it 13, depending on where you buy it.
Okay.
It goes as high
is it
as
possible?
15
Is it possible that it could also be sold cheaper than the?
I don't know.
10,
I haven't bought it cheaper.
You can really talk from your experience.
I'm talking from my experience, from my pocket. It's not just that. A lot of other items, household items, food items, prices have doubled. Some of them have quadrupled. And then you come and tell me that the dollar is at 10 cedis. And I go into the market and I have to pay double, 3 times of what I paid last year. And then you also tell us through the Bank of Ghana that you've used 10 billion of the windfall from gold to shore up the city. Mr. President, your leadership of the economy through your finance minister and your Bank of Ghana governor, we have to ask a few questions. Going forward, are we still going to use the windfall from the gold? Because according to Bloomberg, I read it yesterday, that in 2026 gold prices are either going to stay the same or go higher because of world economic issues. So it looks like we're going to make some more money from gold. Are we still going to use it to shore up the city? Are we still going to put another 10 billion or more dollars into shoring up the city? Is that what we want to use the benefits of the gold for? And keeping the dollar at that level, how is that going to affect our citizens? Because the last time you did it in the last 1 year, it hasn't, for me, as a citizen, and I'm sure a lot of people would also agree with me, it hasn't changed anything in our pockets. It hasn't changed anything. Things have rather increased. So how the leadership going into the next 1 year, what is the plan? Because the last 1 year, the leadership definitely is not going well. So, Reverend Wingham, you have quite a lot of advice to give to the President and Parliament. As he was speaking at the parliamentary service for the Christmas carol service. So,
carols and something nice.
And the President was there?
Yes, the President was there,
okay,
yes.
so the Speaker of Parliament too was also around. Honorable Bagwin, Speaker of Parliament, a year ago, you were also still Speaker of Parliament, and you made a ruling in the case of the Assin-North issue, when there was a court matter relating to the Assin-North by-elections. And if I remember well, if I'm wrong, please correct me. The ruling was that so far as the thing was in court, we should exhaust the court proceedings. And it was done. All the court proceedings, all the way to, I think, the Supreme Court was exhausted, and then the by-election was done. But it comes to the Pandai one. And Honorable Bagwin is telling us that the seat has to be declared vacant. That, in my estimation, is also abuse of power. So Reverend Wingham was also speaking to him. That if you gave a decision last year, consistency, fairness dictates that you give the same chance for another person to also go through it. As for the merits of the case, I don't want to talk about it, but you allow the case to go through the system. Let it go through the appeals court, go all the way to the Supreme Court. After they go through the system, if the seat is supposed to be vacant, you declare it vacant. But you decided that you declare it vacant in the middle of the court issues. Whilst you didn't do that barely a year ago in the other parliament. So I believe that Reverend Wingham was also speaking to Honorable Bagwin, the head of Parliament. I don't think the Chief Justice was there, so I won't go on his car. The disputed Chief Justice. He wasn't at that program, so I won't go there. Then I'm sure there were other government appointees and heads of government institutions who were there. Was the Chief of Staff there? Because January, when they took over power, if I remember,
no, the Chief of Staff wasn't
there.
Yes.
But since the President was there, I'm sure whatever he said was also directed at the Chief of Staff. When they came into power, one of the things they did was to write to all state agencies that people who had been employed should all be sacked. So as we spoke about, 7,000 young Ghanaians who were employed are sitting home. Chief Justice, my own uncle, you know he's from Kwahu. I'm also from Kwahu. Those young people do not see that His Excellency John Mahama and you, the Chief of Staff, not the Chief Justice, the Chief of Staff, have been fair to them, or you showed them any leadership. They managed to get jobs. It's not as if they got the jobs through any bad means. They went through the system. They were appointed. Some of them had worked for 6 months. Some had worked. They were yet to get their permanent levels. You've sacked every one of them. They are sitting at home. Leadership, abuse of power. Sirs, I don't think that this is fair to those young people. They are still sitting at home. So Reverend Wingham was speaking to all these leaders, and I hope they will listen to him, with him being their friend, their very good friend, with him being a part of the system, with him being a part of their governance, perhaps they will listen to him. And going forward, next year, maybe they would show leadership and be kinder to people, perhaps look into getting these young people back into those jobs. They say they are creating jobs for young people. You don't create jobs by sacking them. They also made a campaign promise of 133, the 24-hour economy. Some of us thought that they will keep these young people there. Maybe they can go for one shift whilst they employ others to do the other shift. We still haven't heard from them. You haven't been able to provide your promise. You haven't been able to give them the jobs you say you give them, and you are rather sacking them to go and sit at home. Leadership and abuse of leadership. Reverend Wingam, I believe President John Mahama and his team have abused it very beautifully.
Right.
And if you're speaking, you should be speaking directly at them, and don't generalize it. They need it more than the rest of us do.
All right. Let me read a few messages so I can bring you in. So I have this one. Okay. So Eben, it's a good morning out. I'm Eben in Kwabenya. Amadeku should give us a break right there, who abuses power more than the former President Akufo-Addo. I can tell you the MPP folks are frustrated, and I know they would continue with such attitudes until they see their smoothness level again in 2028 come in the coming elections. Alhaji Hamza from Pig Farm sends a message and says, Assalamu alaikum, my brother. Wa alaikum assalam, Alhaji. It says, Moro, I expected you to demand for evidence from the lady in red to support the false claim that she's making. There's nowhere in the story that states that the man of God was speaking directly to the president. She went ahead to say the man of God benefited from his party NDC without giving us any evidence to support their claim. I'm not surprised because that is the character. They are good at insulting elderly men of God in this country. Moro, please tell her that the removal of the former Chief Justice went through due process of the law, and she should not also forget that the President Mahama swore an oath to defend and to protect the constitution of the land, and that is exactly what he did. Now, the position of the Chief Justice is not a bonfire property of Madame Tokono. This was the same lady who attacked former President Kufuor for speaking his mind. So no wonder Ghana was a crime scene under Nana Akufo-Addo, and the economy was pregnant, and no wonder the economy under them was described as a junk economy. Junk economy simply means a baller economy. She should get that. My greetings to my sister Shamima. Please tell her to look for me small. Now, the statement that Ellen made was not to state as a matter of fact that Reverend Stephen Yenusom Wengam was referring to the president. What she said was that in her view, she thinks that Reverend Stephen Wengam was speaking to the president and the NDC government. So that's what she meant. I mean, she couldn't have said something which was not reported. I mean, the report was clear, the publication was clear that he talked about governments. And if you recall, when she started her submission on this matter, I quickly referred her to the story that said governments with an S apostrophe, so that government upon government have done that. So that's just to set the record straight on that. Now, Mr. Kwesi Baini, formerly with the Chronicle, he says that, Miss, my sister, what is the dispute about the Chief Justice? He is the Chief Justice without any dispute. Kwesi Baini from Takrady sends that message. Kalio Maniwa says, good morning, my brother. It is better to use the gold benefit to help Ghanaians than to use the money and that of pensioners' benefit to dig the most expensive hole called the cathedral. We don't need the AMA and MPP to tell us, we don't need AMA, and MPP to tell us the state of the economy. We know the economy is 100% better than what they left us. Kalio Man in Wa sends that message. Now, JD Kaji from Tema says, Moro, please tell Helen that the current government has taken cue from MPP. What they did in 2017, NDC appointees, she should please keep quiet. I remember what they did to Kofi Adams. Even John Domelo suffered abuse of power. I can mention more and more and more and more. Okay. Carlos from Ododo says that considering everything that has happened, the MPP should not be close to power again. The handling of the country's affairs was abysmal, yet some people will support them openly. This is largely because the NDC has failed to properly educate Ghanaians about who the MPP truly are and the damage they cause while in power. If the truth had been clearly presented, many would not continue to trust them. Some of us already know they have nothing meaningful to offer this country, and I say God bless you. And Carlos continues to say, some of us have been talking about abuse and intimidation meted out by the MEP. Former President Jerry John Rawlings was disrespected under Akufo-Addo's government. His wife was also disrespected under the Akufo-Addo government. that's under, well, I don't know about this respect, but she had issues with the Kufuor government, not the Kufuor. People were arrested in churches, on the streets, and even for expressing political views. Even the current finance minister was taken to court. Given what is happening to our people now, we expect fairness and consistency. Justice must apply equally. Tell the lady to make it clear that whoever is in power, if they commit wrongdoing, they must be arrested. No one should go scot-free. Carlos from Odududu. Papa Bisu says that, good morning, I enjoyed the discussion, except that did I hear Ellen saying that they'll be ready for power after 31st of January 2026? Well, for information, Ghanaians are enjoying the good governance under His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, where lots of prices of goods and services are at very reduced price, never happened before in Ghana's history. If Ken Ofori-Atta refuses to come down relative to facing the law and NPP refuses to advise him to come down, Ellen and NPP must know they have lost 2028 in advance. Fact is, Ken and NPP must account for their stewardship. This is no witch hunting. Papa Bisu from Spintex sends that message. Okay. Reverend Jones Latte, Sharima. Reverend Jones Latte, yes, he watches the show every day from England. Yes,
it's been so long.
I know. It says, good morning. Ishaima saying that the appointees are required to donate into the Mahama Fund, and please ask Shamima on my behalf. How is the Women's Bank also going? How does Women's Bank look like? Okay, Reverend, I will ask Shamima to respond to those messages that you have sent. Sam Aku Kelly from East Legon Hill says, good morning, Moro. In fact, sometimes I cringe when I listen to some politicians speak. I wonder if they have been in this country all along and they just descended from another planet. Ghanaians are the best judges. Let's be truthful and candid in what we put across. Merry Christmas in advance to all. McLean from Sefiri also says the next MP government to be sworn in on the 7th of January 2029 will decisively compensate and pay every penny owed to all individuals who were legitimately employed but unfairly dismissed by the NDC. The NDC should remember that barely a year ago, their beloved party was in opposition. John Mahama lost decisively in 2016 and again in 2020, yet today he's president once more. This clearly shows that in a democratic system like ours, no political party remains in power forever. Shamima must bear in mind that political power is transient and will always be. That's McLean from Sefiri also sends that message. All right, Champs.
McLean.
Yes, your
that is a trite truth. Did anyone say that political power is I haven't heard you transcend?
Say that. No, you mean McLean, the yes, gentleman who sent a message from Tadi. Yes.
Very much so. Every day I wake up, that is what I remind myself of. That this is but a passing position and we owe it a duty to ourselves and to the people of this nation to do our best. You know what? Thank God for a number of things. Thank God that President John Dramani Mahama is surrounded by men of wisdom who are not afraid to give good counsel. Thank God that President Mahama has shown that he is a president who listens to good counsel and acts upon good counsel. Thank God that men of God at all different platforms find the freedom of spirit to speak out and advise politicians and political leaders. We thank God that this era is here with us, where men of God are no longer fearful to advise, to do their work of advising and serving as the moral voice of the society without fear of being attacked, without fear of being frustrated, without fear of receiving GRA officials at their church premises the following day after they give that counsel. So thank God for men of God like Reverend Wengam, and for continuing to have, in fact, I was witness to a number of them who came to visit and to pray for the president during, on the day of his birthday, the early morning, men of God across different denominations, they prayed upon the life of President John Dramani Mahama. And they said a number of things. I don't think I have the permission to say it, but what I took away from that encounter that I witnessed was that truly Ghana was in the hands of the right person. And that right person was President John Dramani Mahama. Let me also say that at the end of 2024, there was an objective verdict. The verdict was so clear, even as we look into the future and we don't want to be drawn so much into the past, a past that was not worth it because of the pain it unleashed, a past that affected 1.3 million Ghanaians because of harsh, policies that came. People lost their jobs, they lost their savings, they lost their pensions. A very harrowing and painful past we don't want to be drawn into. But just to tell us and to remind us that at the end of 2024, the good people of Ghana, you returned a verdict because you know better. You who felt it knew better. And you who felt it took a decision that has changed the destiny of this country. So I'm not going to remind my dear sister about everything that they did wrongly that's brought them to where they are, but listen to them when they speak and hear them when they speak. They have told us that they haven't even started their opposition yet. They not only abused power, they are abusing opposition, and they are promising to even abuse their opposition even further. They are saying that they are going to be a nuisance to our collective forward march. They are insisting that after January, after their bloody contest, a contest within family, the things we have heard, the images we have seen, the stories that are flying around against all of them in their internal context. What keeps them awake is not how to build their party stronger. What keeps them awake is not how to re-energize their rank and file, their disillusioned, angry rank and file. What keeps them awake is not how they can reset their party and bring back some of its values that some of their forebears and some of their founding fathers under this fourth democratic regime, at least espoused those values. Because even now, they don't espouse the values and they don't behave according to the values. Even if they did not believe in the values, they don't do that. They are not awake at night thinking of all these things. What they are awake thinking about, as my sister Ellen has just told us, is that after January, when they are able to elect their flag bearer from their top-bottom approach, taking power away from the masses, centering it at the top, and then dictating what will happen afterwards to the masses, what they are going to do is to now show us Ghanaians what opposition is. This is the message. So when they speak, let us listen to them clearly and let us hear them. And when we hear them, let us say, oh my God, thank you for delivering us from the hands of the tyrant ones. Thank you for delivering us from those that never meant this country well, but themselves. Thank you for replacing a bad government with a good government, with a good leader. That is what we would take away from their opposition. By all means, let them abuse their opposition as they abused their power when they had it. At the end of the day, the verdict was that we had never seen an arrogant government like them. We had never seen an intransigent group of people who listened to no one, not the neutral voices, not the well-intentioned voices, who are today still under attack from the same lot because the same group of people who advised them not to take certain actions are the same group of people that they expect to be criticizing President John Dramani Mahama for taking the same actions they advised the NPP to take. Look at the confusion. Exactly what does the New Patriotic Party want? But that is really their own cup of tea. because the more they remain radarless, the more they remain anchorless, the more they remain intransigent, unwilling to learn from their painful defeat, the better it would be for the NDC family, the better it will be for President John Mahama and his government, because what President Mahama will focus on is delivering the mandates, his social contract. For it had ballooned to 742 billion cedis with a junk status. Today, that status is positive in outlook. Today, all the indicators are positive, from our net primary balance, from our inflation, which is now single digits more at 8%, from interest rates that are coming down, from the investment in agriculture that today agriculture grew by over 6%, and we saw the glut of grains, which means that if we make the right investment as we did in year one, food prices have come down. It is very curious that my sister does not concede that food prices have come down. Rice, you go to the market, you have interviewed market women, the price of maize had come down because of the glut. And the directive that came from President Mahama to the buffer stock company, which former CEO is under investigation, the National Service she mentions, they are not interested in the colossal sums of money purported to have been pillaged and stolen. They are not interested in cleaning their name. They are interested in clutching at straws under a government that is institutionalizing the rule of law. Nobody's rights has been erased under President John Dramani Mahama. And any right-thinking Ghanaian, fair-minded Ghanaian who is watching the process would know that President Mahama will never sit and watch the abuse of anyone's right. If any institution goes beyond its mandate and exercise unreasonable force, President Mahama will speak publicly about it as he has spoken about it. So this is the leadership, a marked difference in what we experience. And this is what pains them. This is what worries them. Because at the state we are going, at the pace of movement, they are scared that they are going to be at the Mole National Park for a very, very long time.
All right. Let me just do this quickly. Let me read this one because we have just 5 minutes more to go. So Kofi Apenu. Kofi, what happened? You sent me some long, very interesting message, but you've deleted it, so I'm not going to bother myself too. So Musa Abattoir from Asawase says that President Mahama has shown that he's a man of his word. Many of the commitments he made to the people have been fulfilled, and he's a listening leader, Shamima alluded. Now everyone is applauding him with exception of MPP members, because people are free to air their views, including men of God. Greetings to the Chief of Staff, Julius Deborah. All right, so Ellen, I'll just give you the last 2 minutes so that we can wrap up. If you can do me this favor. Apparently your mic is switched on. Yes,
Hello.
Is on.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now.
As for speaking for government, as I said, I can only wish Shamima and her colleagues well. Because as for the work, they have a lot to do. And for you to tell us that we are creating a nuisance, we are going to be a nuisance as you were in the last 8 years. So if the NDC was a nuisance in opposition, that's exactly what we are going to do. And I'm happy that she has admitted that they were a total nuisance in opposition, and they showed it through Parliament, through their press conferences, through everything.
She admitted it?
Yeah, she admitted it.
How did she admit it?
If you are telling us that the current opposition, who haven't even started the work of opposition yet because we've been busy, you think that we are a nuisance to Ghanaians.
But that's not the same as admitting.
That's what she said. So I'm just
you're a nuisance onto your own self.
I'm just opposing it, that they were also, in the last 8 years, in the last 8 years, they were a total nuisance to Ghanaians and to themselves and to the whole society. Because they did things as a party that obviously did not go down for the good of Ghana. And so if we are going to copy you, and also become a nuisance, why are you bothered? You shouldn't be bothered.
We're not bothered at all.
So you shouldn't even be complaining about it. So as for the providing the proper opposition, as I said, after 31st, we are going to do that. The MPP have taken a bold step. We are going to pick our leaders. As we speak now, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama is done with his term. He's not going to go for another term. You have a longer way to go. You already have the Chief of Staff going on walks in the market, telling us he's ready. The Vice President is stepping out into the market. Honorable Harold Edrisu is also stepping out onto the people. Your party chairman is going around saying thank you and doing thank you tours. You haven't even started your process yet, and you are here trying to denigrate what the MPP is doing.
Okay.
The MPP is putting itself together. I think you should concentrate on the work that Ghanaians have given you. Do it and leave us to do our work. Whilst you think about your party and what you're going to be going through in the next few years when you have to change leadership, leave the opposition to do their work. We are just copying you. It's just that we'll be a better opposition.
Copy the good things.
We will
Copy
do
the
it
good
better.
things.
And as I said, they'll receive it pressed down, shaking together, and running over. Okay. So they should get ready. If you think that you were a total nuisance when you were in opposition,
but
that's no problem.
That's where you miss the point.
That is you being a nuisance. We are not going to be a nuisance. We are going to be a proper opposition to use. Concentrate on the job and the abysmal job. And then more before I stop. It doesn't matter what your economic whatever it is.
Okay.
If we don't feel it in our pockets.
Okay.
Look at how you're blowing.
It
and
still
you are
doesn't
saying
matter.
You don't feel it in your pocket.
I have to pay 2-3 times more
look at how she's
for what I paid for last year. And you cannot tell me that that's good governance. It is terrible. It is absolutely
oil now chicken now
the milk is 3 times as much.
So over the weekend,
just one thing. Just one sentence.
The cassava is more expensive. The yam is more expensive. The palm oil is more expensive. Everything is more expensive.
In Ellen's market, we understand.
The same market I go to.
Ellen's
so if you leave the grains in
Atebubu,
the grains are not getting here to Accra. If they do get here, they are 5 times as expensive as they were last year.
That's why we are doing the roads.
Where then is your?
That's why we are doing the roads tomorrow.
Until you complete the roads, you should be hungry.
The roads minister, 5 billion.
She was the one in time.
Let her land, then you can come in. Let her land, so you can come in.
I should land.
I'm saying that she should allow you to land so she can come in. Yes.
The cassava prices have increased from last year. Plantain prices have increased. Everything that we buy have increased. And you tell me that the inflation is 6%.
All right.
So what should you do for me?
Okay.
When I enter the market, inflation is not 6%. My prices have increased.
Okay.
All right. I understand that in Ellen's market, that is what
there's no Ellen's market.
Ghana for Ellen, can I just finish? Ghana for please, I never interrupted you. So listen to this.
You didn't like it, so don't do it to her.
If review means cancel, you should imagine what proper opposition means. Very improper opposition is what we are going to experience, and we are ready for them.
Okay.
Because they forget
that
the Ghanaian people returned a verdict which aligns with the positions that the NDC took prior to the 2024 election. And when they keep insisting to insult the intelligence of Ghanaians,
insulting anybody.
They will meet their meter in 2020.
Let me thank you very much.
Please.
Our time is up. So Shamima Muslim is the presidential spokesperson, the vice presidential spokesperson, and also Ellen Ama Dekun is also a member of the MPP's communications team. Thanks for watching Good Morning Ghana. Bye-bye. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Jollof, Jollof, I am free. Jollof, Jollof, I am free. Jollof, I am free. Jollof, Jollof, I am free. Jollof, Jollof, I am free. Jollof, Jollof, I am free.
This Christmas, Cattle's Agri Limited is